You are listening to the Free Truth Show on TNS Radio. I am talking to Alan Eastwood from We Are Change Ireland. You can visit their website on wearechange.ie. Wobbly. wearechange.ie. Are you still with us?
Certainly are, yeah.
Good show.
Sure.
Good show. What I was going to ask you was about the Lisbon Treaty. Do you see, we all know that it's totally unconstitutional and totally out of order and possibly a big fix, and the Irish were bullied into this treaty a second time.
There's no doubt about it.
Right. Well, now it's been a few months since its inception, criminal inception. Do you see any noticeable differences on the ground as a direct result of the Lisbon Treaty? Do you see anything like that?
I suppose it's not the sort of thing you really see every day. Do you remember? I remember when it first came in, and you kind of go outside, you look outside, nothing's changed, everything looks the same, and with a few people I knew that were yes voters, and I'm thinking going, oh yeah, the country didn't collapse, by the way, when we voted, yeah. I mean, process, and I think if they rush any of it in on us too much, again, it's tiptoe totalitarianism. So if they rush any of it in too much, then people are going to kick up a fuss pretty fast. They kind of let the information from the no campaign fade away, and then people just sort of accept things the way they are, and then things start changing again. But there's definitely been a few little bits that have been going on. They're kind of unusual. There was when I was over in England at the AV4 conference, we picked up a copy of a paper, and it's funny, Ian Crane actually held up the same copy of the paper that day, but it had a very front page headline, I think it was the Guardian, or actually it might have been the a new EU Gestapo to spy on everyone, and it was talking about how under the
I've seen that article.
Did you? Yeah, how they had the power to almost tap your phone with no warrant, and go through your internet and check your IP addresses and your emails and all under security.
Well, I mean, if people are worried about their phones being bugged, the phone company is the bug.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. That I think with the Lisbon Treaty, you were saying about it, it might have been a fix. I was just after it all came out that it was a yes, an exact 2-to-1 yes vote. It was I just knew there was something fishy about it. See, I'm from Longford. It's a small enough town. We have a small enough registered.
Well, yeah. I mean, how many people
voters.
do you know that voted yes?
Yeah. It was.
I don't know any.
Supposed to be I think 70% voting yes in Longford. We were active in Dublin and in Longford in handing out sovereign.
Oh, did we lose Alan there?
You still there?
Oh, yeah. Hello, Alan.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Can you still hear me?
It's okay.
Yeah, we were giving out loads of information and meeting people on the streets in Dublin and an awful lot in Longford, that whole area. And nearly everyone you talked to on the street was talking about how they were going to vote no, or they were definitely voting no, even for just the simple reason that they were made to vote again. And then it comes out that it's like 70-30.
Yeah.
Everyone you talk to, bar 1 in 10 people.
Well, I had just come back from Australia, around like coming into the build-up of the Lisbon Treaty. So I was back for a month and a half by the time the actual vote came around. So I wasn't talking to many people coming up to it, as in the big build-up to it. But in the weeks beforehand, I would have noticed the same, that a lot of people would have been voting no, even for the sheer fact that they still didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
That they didn't actually understand what they were being offered, so they were just saying no. That's what I found anyway. Or else, you would have people who were definitely against it, for the fact that we were being asked again, and, for the simple fact, that they knew, that it just didn't feel right. And I would have found that there was very the majority of people would have known.
Well, I was sorry. Let me just stop you for a second. I was actually collecting a lot of information from various people around Ireland of their experiences at the ballot box, and never mind pencils nationwide.
Yeah.
That for me sent, and the marks you could easily just rub out. 48 hours before the vote, boxes were 48 hours before the result was released. Boxes were turning up at returning officers' houses 48 hours before. Totally out of, and some of the returning officers were quite honest, actually, saying this is against regulations, this is not right. And foreign holiday workers were being sent slips to vote with, totally wrong. They had no right to vote, and so it looked like even the voting itself was just flooded with irregularities. And up and down the country, people are saying they walk into their butchers, and the butcher says, everyone I know that comes into this shop is voting no, and everyone who's coming back in now is saying, I don't understand why we got a yes, you know. And I have a whole catalogue in my notepad of dozens of the same story. Some were sent to the wrong school that didn't even exist if they wanted to vote, and you know, in strong no areas. And it's just a whole catalogue of a charade, really.
What I did straight away after, within a day of the Lisbon Treaty result being out, there was an awful lot of information online about some of the violations. Forgetting just the fact that they used taxpayers' money and EU money to influence a result in a referendum. That's unlawful by their own cases. By their own cases, there was a McKenna case in '97. I could be getting the year wrong, where the Irish government tried to use money to influence the result of a referendum, and it's a violation of their own laws. So I got an awful lot of information, some of it you were saying there, and I got it all together, typed it up, brought it submitted to the Gardaí, along with linked to a petition I got online. Within about 24 hours, we got 1,500 signatures on it, and it was really showing like that was just in 1 or 2 days. And I sent this round, and about 6 or 7 other people, at least that I know of, that contacted me directly, told me they went into their local Garda station, submitted this to the fraud squad or whatever. But I think we all got the same story back. Like, they seemed interested enough, but they were saying that it'd have to be submitted to the fraud squad by ourselves. And I mean,
well, there was that quite well-known video of Cork ballot town hall, where the guy walked out with the ballot box down the road and was videoed seen just walking off into the distance with a ballot box. There was no security. That was another
joke,
really. I saw that one.
This country, you talk to someone on the street about voting fraud in this country, and they start laughing at you. They'd be like, in Ireland, you wouldn't have that. Like,
well, this is the nature
going on everywhere else. Why not?
Ash, this is the nature of tyranny. It's Hitlerian. It's worse than Hitler. At least he had the decency to write some rules and laws. These guys just stomp all over everything and say, screw you.
Yeah. They don't. It's like it doesn't matter. You know, it's we're an inconvenience. You know, that kind of way. So they're gonna make an attempt to do it whatever way they can, even if it's so blatant. You know, that we can all say what, but you know, then they have so many of us then hypnotized and, you know, medicated and all this other stuff, you know, and distracted.
Yeah, they think we're so dumbed down that we're just going to accept anything they say, whether it's global warming. The new one that came out today, I wanted to read it out. I don't think I'll have time now, but dinosaurs may have died out as a result of a change in temperature. You know. And the whole article was, and we know the FBI has a whole department of dedicated scientists just sending out wisps of information that's totally wrong, disinformation. So because they believe that you're dumbed down and you're just going to read this little snippet of an article and that builds up and builds up and builds up into your worldview that global warming is real. And because you don't question the scientists, you think, well, they're much cleverer than me. They must know what they're talking about. And there's some more breasts and there's the sport, you know, and you just move on or whatever. And this is what we're dealing with. It's total mind control, and they have control of all the media and the mass media, and they're fully able to convince people that it's real, and it's sickening to see. You feel like shaking some people, you know.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean, but I think we're getting there. People are starting to not even if they're starting to realize, you know, the full extent of everything, they're still starting to come back to, you know, the community, to come back to where we came from.